All right. Let's get into it. So in my last couple of videos, I covered the demonetization campaign against Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinnell. Someone that I did leave out in those videos just because it wasn't intentional, but I think that it needs its own video was Star Wars Theory. Star Wars Theory was mentioned in both the video as well as the demonetization campaign, like formal letter that everybody put out on their platforms, not as prominently as the other three guys, which is why I went into a lot of detail with those three creators because they were the main focus of this demonetization campaign, but he was mentioned. And I need to speak on it because he has made a video and responded to the demonetization campaign as well as the people behind it. Both his video and the reaction to his video on Twitter has been insane. But I wanted to kind of talk about what has led up to this moment because for the most part, Star Wars Theory has sort of like stayed in his own lane. He's never really bothered anybody. He's just made Star Wars content because he has an incredible love and appreciation for Star Wars. It wasn't really until like, at least that I noticed, it wasn't really until he started associating with the people that they tried to get demonetized. And he essentially started to kind of platform the guys that all of these other creators and their fans really hate. So he started to do like Drunk Cobra Theory with Drunk 3PO and D-Day Cobra Jeremy. He also did Stargrift with Mahler and Ryan Kinnell, but even before that, he would stream with Mahler. He started to go on Critical Drinkers streams, right? And they all started to sort of talk about Star Wars because everybody had started to notice the decline in Star Wars quality, and so did Star Wars Theory, and he wanted to talk about it. So he had already started to receive a little bit of hate once he started to associate himself with those creators because they are creators that the Star Wars fandom doesn't approve of. But the hate started to really ramp up when he started talking about the Acolyte, more specifically over the character of Ki-Adi-Mundi. That specific character actually made an appearance in the Acolyte, and Star Wars Theory was very quick to call out the fact that that character wasn't even born yet, right? So how can he be in the Acolyte? So once people were asking this question, Wikipedia actually changed the birth date of that character in order to fit the timeline of the Acolyte. Star Wars Theory ended up making a video about it, and then one of the Wikipedia editors claims that they started to get death threats, and then like I believe the Wikipedia official account like blamed Star Wars Theory for those death threats. The whole Wikipedia thing that happened with Star Wars Theory is something that is separate on its own, but it's relevant here because it just kind of shows the amount of hate that was slung at Star Wars Theory for, you know, having the audacity to even like ask a question and make a video about it. So because the Wikipedia account like officially blamed Star Wars Theory for those death threats, Star Wars Theory threatened legal action. And people didn't like that. Master of the TDS, people wishing death on Star Wars Theory for having an opinion on the show and accusing him of harassment with no evidence. And this is when like the hate towards Star Wars Theory really started to ramp up. So then Rewriting Ripley, along with Star Wars Explained, Kyle Katarn, like all of these other YouTube channels, puts out this campaign and makes sure to include Star Wars Theory. Now, their response to this, because he did make a video, it has been, oh, he wasn't even featured. He wasn't even like the main focus of this campaign or this article. It doesn't matter. The fact that he was even included gives him the absolute right to respond. The mentions of him specifically are underneath the facts. The hate campaign against Amandla has been so profitable that other major YouTubers have joined the attacks on Amandla, including Star Wars Theory, 3.3 million subscribers. How many more good faith content creators will turn to profitable hate campaigns if this behavior is permitted to continue with no repercussions? So this one statement accuses Star Wars Theory of jumping on the hate campaign of, you know, towards Amandla Stenberg, the star of the Acolyte, in order to turn a profit for his YouTube channel. So now we get into where he's featured in the Rewriting Ripley video. Frankly, this whole campaign is disgusting. You know, you're actually doing what you are accusing these men of doing. You're accusing them of launching a hate campaign when that's actually what you guys are doing. I mean, it's really disgusting. But regardless, this is the part that features Star Wars Theory.
It is the most like kind of narcissistic, lack of self-awareness.
So they are saying that that is an attack on Amandla Stenberg, which is why he is included. He's reacting to her cancellation video, right? The video that she put out on Instagram, and he's giving his opinion on it, like a lot of us did. I did. I reacted to that video, but that's it. That's all we did. We reacted to the video and then we moved on. What these people did, Rewriting Ripley and everybody involved in this demonetization campaign did, what they did was they saw the video and they made this campaign. Like, I don't understand why these people think that this was a good thing. It wasn't. It doesn't make you guys look good. In fact, it makes you look really bad for launching a hate campaign. Amandla Stenberg said her piece on the Acolyte cancellation. People were going to react to it. People were going to talk about it. And that's what Star Wars Theory was doing right here. Whether or not you like what he said, it really doesn't matter. matter. What matters is that it is his opinion and he is allowed to give it. So what's interesting is that while he wasn't featured prominently, he was still featured. That's all that matters. That's all that matters, was that he was still featured. He puts out a video responding to everything, and we will go over that in a little bit. But the person who runs the Star Wars Rewriting Ripley account, she said Star Wars Theory knows Molly, which is one half of Star Wars Explained, didn't start any demands to YouTube last week. Other YouTubers involved have a timeline of the tweets. They know who tweeted first. This isn't about truth. It's about narrative and stoking the base. It's so funny that you say that, right? This is about a narrative. It's about narratives and stoking the base. Star Wars Theory is a coward and a liar. What's interesting is that is total projection, right? Because the whole Rewriting Ripley, the whole campaign, it wasn't about truth. It was about their narrative and stoking all of their fan base against the YouTubers that they're trying to demonetize. It's so funny that she says that that's what Star Wars Theory's video is about, but that's what their whole entire demonetization campaign was about. She then goes on to say that Star Wars Theory is a coward and a liar. I stand with Star Wars Explained. I feel like the mental gymnastics that you have to go to think that you actually did something good, that you actually did the right thing, and that they're the victims in all of this is wild. It's just wild to me. Oh my gosh, I just realized you couldn't even see it. We're going to come back to this, but first I want to watch and react to Star Wars Theory's video. So let's watch his video. Make myself smaller, put myself on top right here.
This is where the fun begins.
So this part of the video we can kind of skip through. He sort of goes through the campaign and shows you the parts that he was involved in or that he was included in, and we can go ahead and skip through that because I've already showed you.
Yet the fact that you put my name in this is so unbelievably effed up, man. Like, first of all, you have to prove that this is a hate campaign. The only hate campaign I see here are you people that have been constantly throwing hate. The boys can defend themselves, and they want to go to court for that. They can do that. They can destroy these people. No problem. I fully believe that. The only hate campaign I see here is the hate campaign that Molly Damon, Star Wars Explained, and a lot of these other Star Wars YouTubers have been leading against me for years. It's all about money. Molly Damon and Star Wars Explained, in my opinion, are obsessed with money.
Here we go.
Let me take you back to the very beginning.
Here we go. Star Wars Theory about to throw out some receipts.
All right, October 6th, 2016, 5:55 a.m. My name is Alex from over at Star Wars Explained. I wanted to just say hey and introduce myself. You're growing insanely fast. Congratulations. I actually do have a question for you. You kind of popped up on my radar because I saw this ad on one of my videos. Yeah, really, Alex. Like 8 years later, yeah, for sure, that's the reason I popped up on your radar. This ad that my network put up for literally 5 days, that's what made you... Okay, yeah, sure. I don't want this to sound like I'm angry at all or anything. How the fuck would you be angry? How would you even say that?
She got your ass.
This is literally telling you right there that you're angry.
So the reason... Oh my God, look at this pause right there. Sorry. So the reason that, he said, like, I'm not angry or anything, it's because it says, who was Yoda's master? Star Wars Explained. He's 100% right. Like, why would you say you're not angry or anything if you weren't angry or held any type of animosity? There's no reason to include that if you weren't feeling those motions.
And believe me, he was, because I have more to say about this when I actually met him. On the contrary, I'm very curious if you found it to be a good strategy. 50,000 subscribers in only a couple months is crazy good. So you're obviously doing something right. I'd love to talk about some of the things you found to work, and I will do my best to help you in return. But if that's something you'd like to keep close to your chest, I understand.
Right here is the real reason that Alex reached out to him. So he wants to know how Star Wars Theory is growing so fast, because this person is obsessed with growth and numbers, and Star Wars Theory was putting out content and able to grow really, really fast in just a short amount of time. Yeah, right off the bat, he wants something from Star Wars Theory. He wants to know, like, what he's doing. How is he able to grow his base so quickly? And he wants to know if he can collab. First email, he initially reached out and he wants something from Star Wars Theory.
October 6th, 12:10 p.m. I respond the same day, literally when I just woke up, because I would work all throughout the night. I'd sleep probably around 7 a.m. and then I'd get like a few hours of sleep and I'd wake up and I'd get right back to writing videos. No eating, no gym, just freaking no dating. What I've done is essentially just dedicate my days to making videos I find interesting, adding music, and that's about it.
He's just on the grind. Yeah, right? Like, he asked him, what is he doing? Make content you like, add graphics, add music. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm on the YouTube grind right now.
The main videos that propel my channel are fan fictions where I write a story and act it out. According to my analytics, most new subscribers come for those which I feel sets my channel apart from others. Now, when I say that, I didn't know what the hell analytics were. I didn't even know how to read them. Oh yeah, I get a lot of views on my fan fiction, so that's probably what people come for. Your channel is the level I'd like to be at by next year. How did you grow it? Any tips? By the way, if you're cool with it, can we put each other in our suggested friends list? Nice to meet you, Toos. Yeah, I was really curious about the ad. I've always considered giving that a shot, but is always skeptical. Bummer you're not seeing any benefit from it.
So this all sounds very friendly at first, right? Like, he told Alex how he grew his channel, told him that, he wants his channel to be where Alex's channel is in a year. So that's why he's working so hard. And hey, let's help promote each other. Let's help each other in this space.
Are you able to dedicate all day, every day to this? If so, I'm crazy jealous. I currently have a full-time job and have to do everything at night. Actually, you told everyone at the Lego booth in Chicago that your wife helps divide the workload into two.
if he did, I don't know if he did or not, but if he did add him as like a suggested channel and then Star Wars Theory passed him in subscribers and grew really big, really fast, I imagine that, you know, Alex from Star Wars Explained had held some like animosity towards him, as if like Star Wars Theory like took away. Oh my God, I can't stand these pauses. I'm really sorry. He looks at it as like, oh my gosh, Star Wars Theory like stole some of my fan base because I added him as a suggested channel. I imagine that like if he is really obsessed with numbers, subscribers, money, once Star Wars Theory grew past him, then, you know, the real jealousy and envy sort of like kicked in.
I would totally be down for a mass collab like you're suggesting, and yeah, I can add you as a recommended channel. As for tips, the main thing I would suggest is you're already doing often better than I am. I think I have a lot I can work on. I need to be better with my titles and thumbnails and general SEO, in my opinion. Right off the bat, he's like, oh, he's just getting these views because of his titles and his thumbnails and clickbait. Please understand, everything I'm saying, you will see it all unravel. We're gonna get to all of it. Looks like you're growing faster than me and a lot of the other channels, so you should easily be in the 200K range soon. Took me almost 2 years to get there. Good talking to you. If you ever have any questions or just want to chat Star Wars, you can always shoot me an email or tweet something. Because I can't anymore because you guys blocked me. My philosophy has always been the more big Star Wars channels out there, the better we can all learn and help each other grow. It's all about growing. It's all about, I didn't give a shit about any of that, man. I was just making my content and making it the way I wanted. That was it. I didn't take a course on this.
Since Alex like reached out to him from the very first email, he's always talked about subscriber growth. How are you growing your channel so quickly? Every time that Alex talks to him, it's all about like subscriber growth. It's interesting that like Theory is just like, I didn't care about anything. I'm just putting some work into my channel.
Then from there, we spoke a few more times, and then it started to get really sour. It started to get really bad. He asked me for a few, like, what was this in 2017? He's like, hey, like, if you don't mind me asking, like, where do you get the high quality comic images? And I told him, like, oh, you just type it in Google and you get those and you can comment on it.
This is kind of like a weird sort of question to ask somebody, especially when like Google's around, right? Google Images. Honestly, I'm wondering if he just wanted to sort of like reach out to him and see if that line of communication was still open. I don't know. That just seems like very odd to me. I think that he just wanted to dip his toe in the water and see if there was still a line of communication between him and Star Wars Theory. So like, let me just reach out to him and ask him like the most basic question.
So then it starts to get a little bit, things got bad because he started to make, you know, he made some inflammatory videos about my theories, about my what ifs for Snoke and this and that. And he would make fun of some of the stuff in his like questionnaire videos and like poke at me. And I didn't take too good to that. And then he started to create a series and sell t-shirts for this new podcast he created called This Week in Clickbait. And I was like the star of every single episode. And that's actually what brought me and Jeremy, Geeks and Gamers, together, was that he essentially used Jeremy as the entryway, the icebreaker, to then talk about a bigger topic, was me. The solo posters. They took out the guns and like the blasters in South America or something like that from what I remember. And I was talking about that in a video.
All of the blasters. And the way some of my peers covered it was downright laughable.
So Disney has decided to remove the blaster from Han Solo on this latest wave of posters.
So in recent events, Disney has now removed all blasters in the upcoming movie posters for Solo.
In the beginning, he started talking about, you know, like thumbnails. What are you doing for SEO and this and that and the other thing? I wouldn't be mad, but it's all about views.
So it looks like he figured out how to get some views, right? Let's use Star Wars Theory. That will, you know, get views. Again, it's just another way of using Star Wars Theory. That's like how I'm seeing his relationship with Star Wars Theory. And honestly, like maybe even other other Star Wars YouTube channels, like how can I use them to grow myself? It's not about Star Wars. It's not about Star Wars content. It's not about loving the property. It's all about just growing his subscribers and how can I use someone or something in order to benefit myself, in order to grow myself. That's what I'm getting from all of this. From his initial reach out to Star Wars Theory until like now, right now in the timeline.
I met the guy first time where we all got flown out to do some sort of a thing together, a whole bunch of us. And I remember walking down the street with him and he was like, you know, before I knew who you were, I couldn't sleep at night. He's like, I'm serious. I'm paraphrasing. I'm serious. Molly would have to calm me down because I couldn't sleep at night because you and Stupendous Wave were just getting such crazy views and we were working so hard and we couldn't even come close to that. Oh man, it's actually kind of cool. It's a bird. It's playing.
That is actually like legitimately crazy. To be so obsessed with views that you can't sleep, that you're hyperventilating, that your wife has to calm you down because two people are getting more views than you. That means that you really aren't, you know, making it about your love of the franchise, your love of Star Wars. You are using this IP to get views, clicks, and money. If all you care about is views, like you're telling him, like, dude, I couldn't sleep at night. Molly had to calm me down because like our channel wasn't getting as many views and clicks as yours. Then honestly, like that just tells me that you don't care about what you're creating. What matters is that what you created gets views and you're making money off of it. Like that's the only thing that matters. And then you like compare that to Star Wars series content, right? Where he's actually like imaginative, kind of creating something that he loves. And I think that like audiences audiences can sort of sniff that out. They can actually like sniff the desperation on someone as opposed to someone who really has a true passion for something, and you know that gets them to stay. That gets them to support you. The audiences aren't dumb.
Like, well, you know, I just feel bad because I just like really didn't like you, and I see that you're such a nice guy now, and I feel bad about that.
So he didn't like him, so he's reaching out, being friendly. That tells me that this guy's also two-faced, right? He's reaching out, congratulating him on his channel. How can we help each other grow in this Star Wars community? May the Force be with you, all of that, while secretly not liking the guy because he's getting more views than you. So that tells me his initial reach out, it all stemmed from envy and jealousy. He didn't care about having this guy as a friend. He didn't care about, you know, bettering the Star Wars community. Nothing. He was jealous of this man and wanted to know how he could use him to grow his own channel. Ridiculous.
Man, this guy must have like really fucking hated me for the views to the point where he couldn't sleep at night and his wife would have to calm him down. Fuck, man. This whole shit's about views for these guys. I remember I took a cab with him once, and I was editing in the back of the cab. He's like, "What are you editing?" I'm like, "Oh, just the new Vader comic." He's like, "That just came out." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't sleep." And then I showed him, and I pressed play as it was in the final cut thing, and he was just looking at it and didn't say a word. He was just like,
that face that he was giving didn't say anything. The wheels were turning in his mind. How can I use this man once again to get some views? This week in clickbait, using Star Wars theory again. He doesn't care, but he wants to like maintain this image of I am a really good person and I'm a positive influence in the Star Wars community, but I'm secretly going to be doing all of this snaky stuff behind creators' backs. Like that, yeah, that is true snaky behavior.
And then, you know, fast forward, there's a few more. He's like, "I still imagine you're not a fan of mine, which is fine. I get it, but I want to say congrats on your film. I know how much time and effort it took, and that looks great. You should be very proud and hope to see it continue." So
I still imagine you're not a fan of mine. Well, I mean, honestly, who would be? If you're going to be like two-faced like that and act like that. And the way he frames this congratulatory email, when he starts it like, "Oh, I imagine you're not a fan of mine, but congrats on your film." You didn't have to make it about yourself, but you did. Like in the first sentence before you even congratulated him. "I imagine you're not a fan of mine, but I wanted to be the bigger person and congratulate you on your fan film." It's ridiculous.
Then we didn't talk until 2019 when we were both put together for the Lego group. We essentially were the two Star Wars creators at Celebration Chicago, where we had to go head to head against each other and like build Lego or something like that. And it was fun. Backstage, before we go live, before we're getting mic'd up, he's there. He's in the freaking tent. And we hadn't talked. I'd been ignoring him and all that. He comes to me and he's like, "Look, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for what I did and those videos. I shouldn't have made them. I should have just contacted you about it."
Another apology. I imagine those apologies like ring hollow. Truly. You're not really sorry. If you were truly sorry, you would have stopped, but you haven't. You kept going. So now you're apologizing again.
And I mean, the guy had like a whole merch line. Like he was all about it, bro. Like this guy was like trying to capitalize, trying to profit off it. There's that.
They're two-faced people. They want to project an image out to the public of how, you know, they want people to perceive them to be. And then behind the scenes, there's something completely different.
I wasn't the same happy-go-lucky kid because now I know that these guys are two-faced as fuck and I can't trust any of them. Hello Greedo, that was another one. He would talk so much shit about me. Then I met him at one of the functions. The first thing he says to me, and he'd be like, "Very big, very big." Is that all you guys care about? YouTubers, if they have a big following and they get a lot of views, they can make a lot of money. I'm not saying I'm on Mr. Beast level or PewDiePie or even anyone like that huge, but I definitely do well for myself, well enough that I can now create a new company for Theory Sabers, employ a bunch of people who are great people, also fund a $1.2 million fan film all by myself. And I couldn't be here without my audience. And it seems like these people, all they give a shit about is money. They're constantly talking about money. This is a multi-million dollar project, this and that and the other thing. And YouTubers have joined the attacks on Mandela, including Star Wars Theory, because it's so profitable. Everything is always about money. I make money because now at this point, what I have to say obviously resonates with people and they want to know what I have to say about it.
That is very true. Star Wars Theory has done with his channel, taken something that he loves, and he has grown to be very successful on YouTube. Why? Because he is passionate about Star Wars. He loves Star Wars, which is why he has so many opinions on Star Wars. Maybe you don't like those opinions, but he is very intelligent on the lore of Star Wars. So, you know, when you're watching something and it doesn't match up with the lore, you're going to say something about it, right? You're going to talk about it. You are a Star Wars channel. You're going to talk about Star Wars.
All I ever wanted was to be accepted. All I ever wanted was to just do my thing. You guys have turned me into this image of me that's not even me. And it's unfortunate that the minority sees me in some sort of a shadow figure light, whereas my subscribers and the people who stand by me and love me and know who I am see me for who I am, which is me. This isn't an act. This isn't like a character I'm playing. This is just me.
I have my theory on why they see him like that. These people are two-faced. Star Wars Theory has said it. These people are two-faced. They engage in this behavior behind the scenes, and then they project another image to their audience. So they assume that other content creators must be the same way. They must act the same way. They think that he is one way in front of his audience and one way behind the scenes, just like they are. But his audience and the people who truly know him behind the scenes know that he is the same person in front of the camera as he is behind the camera. There is no change in personality. There is no, this is my image for my audience. This is my image for my friends. This is my image for my family. There's none of that with Star Wars Theory, but there is that with these other content creators. They have to be fake in order to sell you something because that's what they are initially trying to do. They have to be something different, especially when the product that they are trying to sell you, which is current Disney Star Wars media, isn't good. You can't say that The Acolyte was the greatest thing that Star Wars has put out because it's not. I watched it and I thought it was terrible. A lot of people watched it and thought it was terrible. The majority consensus is that The Acolyte was not a good show. And that has nothing to do with the race of the main actress. It has everything to do with the show itself, the quality of the show, and the writing of the show. The majority of the audience that watched it thought it was bad. Yet you guys need to sell the audience on the fact that The Acolyte was good because you guys wear two separate faces. You are a little bit snaky behind the scenes, as we can see from the receipts that Star Wars Theory is showing us, as well as this whole snaky demonetization campaign that everybody got together and came up with behind the scenes and then launched on the same day. And then you are another way with your audience. You are the wholesome channel. You're the good channel. You're not like these toxic people. No way. We would never be that way. We're the people that Disney Star Wars, that Lucasfilm invites to their premieres, invites onto the sets, invites to meet the show creators and Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni. They wouldn't do that with people who were toxic. We are these people, right? And we want to encourage everybody, everyone in our audience, to watch the current Disney product because it's excellent. We've met the people behind the scenes and we know what they're creating is for the Star Wars fandom. So it's going to be good. We have faith in Kathleen Kennedy. We have faith in Leslie Headland. We have faith in Dave Filoni. And that's why every single thing that they put out is going to be great. We are going to love it. We're going to be so excited for it, even though we might not know anything about it, but we're still going to love it and be excited about it. That's why his subscribers
See me for who I am, which is me. This isn't an act. This isn't like a character I'm playing. This is just me. We had Pablo Hidalgo making fun of me. We had Molly Damon, who was joining in on the fun by posting a GIF of, that GIF of a woman laughing or spitting out her coffee on someone who posted a video of me crying, but made it to, I think it was something about like SpongeBob or some shit or something like that. And, to that I just say, where's your heart? Where's the inclusivity there? Is it because I make money? How about we take the money away from all of this stuff? None of us make money. Let's just say none of us make money. Is it about views then? Is it about popularity? Okay, take all that away. Let's say you can't see the view count, nothing. You can't see the subscriber count, nothing. Would there really be that level of animosity, or is it something a little deeper?
It's interesting that, Star Wars Explained, Molly, right? They joined in on Pablo Hidalgo making fun of Star Wars Theory, crying when he saw Luke Skywalker. That moment, to a lot of people, to a lot of fans of Star Wars, that moment meant a lot to them. And for you to take that positive moment and this initial reaction that someone who absolutely, to his core, loves and cares for Star Wars, sees his hero and has that initial reaction of like, oh my gosh, I'm finally seeing my hero. I love this moment. This is incredible. This is everything I've always wanted to see. For y'all to participate in laughing at that just shows me that you don't really fucking care. You care how you can use Star Wars to benefit you. And that's it.
Is it about Alex not being able to sleep at night and you having to freaking coddle him so that he could sleep because another channel was putting out content that was getting more views? I guess it all has to be because of SEO and thumbnails, right? You're doing this for money, and I really hold Star Wars so close to me that I was like, man, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this because I love Star Wars.
See, that is the biggest difference between like Star Wars Theory and these other people, right? He's not doing it for money. Yes, he's been able to make money, but he initially started the channel because he loved Star Wars. And he grew so quickly because the fan base, the people that are watching his videos could see that. And if you ever like really talk to Theory, like that really is like his love. He has a true love and respect for Star Wars. You can tell that Star Wars has been a part of his life and has been there for him through, a lot of hardships.
That's where the kid who really wasn't happy with their life in school and whatnot won't freaking end themselves because they have a galaxy to go and escape to and have fun with.
He has dedicated his time, his energy, his life to Star Wars. Why? Because he loves the IP. He truly loves Star Wars. He is a fan of Star Wars.
The further along I got into this, I started to realize that, damn, these guys really just care about views and money and all this shit.
All this is pure envy and jealousy combined with an obsession of subscriber count and money. Like, it is a terrible combination, but I mean, that's who these people are. And I'm glad Theory realized it, honestly.
Monetary value has destroyed so many people through jealousy. And they just want, at the end of the day, to have the voice that I have in the fandom, and they can do that so simply by just being authentic and genuine. I don't think they are.
That is 100% true. It's hard to take someone seriously. It's hard to believe that people are being authentic when they love absolutely everything that comes out of Star Wars. There has to be something that you do not like out of a huge IP. There is absolutely no way that with all of this Star Wars stuff out there, that you love absolutely everything. But you know who does love absolutely everything and is just obsessed and excited about everything? Influencers. Influencers who are being paid to say those things. And people can sniff that out. Your audience can sniff that out. Your audience can sense the inauthenticity. And that's why you are just not getting the views. If you are not authentic with your audience, they are going to know, and they're going to stop watching, because they realize and they know, like most people know, you can't love every single thing. It's literally impossible to love every single thing. There has to be some criticism there, because if there's not, then it's completely inauthentic. At that point, you just become a salesperson, and you can only go so far with that mentality.
People aren't watching your stuff, even with all of the free press and extra stuff that Lucasfilm and Disney give you. I mean, maybe that should tell you something. Maybe people just don't like you, and that's a you problem.
I freaking love that Star Wars Theory is just defending himself. He 100% has every right to do it. Honestly, you poke the bear for so many years. You do like little digs, little digs, little digs, little digs. Don't fucking be surprised when the bear bites back. And I think that that's what Star Wars Theory is doing here.
The amount of eyes that I have everywhere in groups that you think are private, with people you think that you know, I see, I watch, and I ain't gonna leak anything, man. All I need to know is who I associate myself with.
It honestly doesn't surprise me that these fake people have fake friends around them, because they've been so snaky and so two-faced. They don't have genuine relationships with really anybody. It's all about who I can use, who I can profit off of, because they are so envious and jealous of other people. Who can I talk shit with? Like, it doesn't surprise me that these inauthentic people have fake friends. So that's pretty much the end of the video. What's interesting though is what's happened since this video. Like that person from Rewriting Ripley, more people have come out in support of Star Wars Explained. Yesterday, Star Wars Theory tweeted this: enjoy tomorrow's video. To think that Star Wars Theory is going to take all of this hate coming his way, all of the bullying for all of these years, to think that he's going to continue to take it lying down is stupid. You can only bully someone so much before they fight back, and you can't blame them and start playing the victim when they finally do fight back. I said in my last video that you guys are weak people, and you 100% are. You're weak in the fact that you cannot take accountability, not even a little bit. You can't ever say that you're wrong, that you were wrong for doing this to all of these people, and you never will. And I think that that speaks to like the weak will that you guys have. You are so scared to actually take accountability, not only with the, you know, these creators, with the actions that you took, but also with your audience, for making your audience participate in this hate campaign. You do not want to take accountability for that with your audience, even though you will stand up and, you know, participate in this fight to protect Star Wars and the Star Wars fandom. You truly do not have any morals, because if you did, then you would realize that what you did was wrong and you would take accountability for it, but you can't. Because you're weak. You're weak people, and you're scared of your audience. You're scared of the audience that you've cultivated, because you know that the audience that you've cultivated will turn their back on you 100%. Once or if you ever do take accountability for your actions, which I honestly don't think that you ever will. I'm glad that Star Wars Theory is finally coming out and defending himself. I support him 100%. And maybe one day you'll realize that what you did was wrong, but honestly, with the types of people that you are, I don't think that you ever will. Star Wars Theory has cultivated an audience by being himself, by being authentic. I hope he continues to be successful. I know he will continue to be successful. And I, for one, won't stop supporting him.